Hello, my friends. Glad you chose to spend some more time with me here at my Media Museum. My name is Will, of course, and we are looking at the Rolling Stones, starting off part 39 of our A to Z sorted 45 RPM vinyl records collections. And Miss You, off of Some Girls, which is one of my favorite Stones albums. I really preferred their 60s stuff. A lot of great stuff in the 70s, and kind of mixed bag once you get up into the 80s and on, as far as in my opinion. And that's nothing against the Stones. I love the Stones, but I did like Some Girls probably the best, and it was 1978, so they had been around quite a while and done a great body of work leading up to this. But I loved Miss You. I loved Shattered, which never seems to get a lot of respect off of that album. I thought was a great song. Faraway Eyes, I'm not a big country and western fan, but they kind of sort of making fun of country and western music here. Or maybe they weren't making fun of it. Maybe they truly wanted to do something in a country and western theme. They did a lot better job than you could say Zeppelin did with Hot Dog, but the girl with faraway eyes, and I like the way they're making fun of the just send me some money. If you know the song, you know what I'm talking about. So we'll move on from there. And we're definitely up into the 80s here. Tattoo You, Start Me Up, which was a really good song. Like I said, once you got into the 80s, I wasn't as big a fan of their stuff. I really liked the bluesy 60s stuff the best. And that's not just because of Brian Jones, but they did a lot of great work after him, too. Stone's done a lot of stuff. In fact, their new one, what is it, Hackneyed, I think it's Hack-Eyed Diamonds, that just came out here not too long ago. I like it. It's a really great album, really well done, and quite the surprise. Didn't think we were going to get an album of that quality from them again. But Stones are still alive and kicking after all these years. And Tattoo You, from 91, also brought us the song No Use in Crying. All right, so it looks like that's all the Stones we got here. But one thing I meant to point out was somebody had sold that as near mint for $3 at the time. The sleeve sure wasn't near mint. I just thought that was funny. That sleeve's in pretty sad. Ooh, excuse me. That sleeve's in pretty sad shape to be called near mint, but the vinyl was actually pretty darn good looking. This one's interesting because I'm showing you the Hot Rod Baby side of Ronnie and the Daytonas here. I do believe that this is the B side, and once I flip it over, you'll perfectly understand why I showed you the B side first. We can make that out. The A side looks just horrible, but it's GTO. I think that's the song Little GTO, but I might be mixing it up with a Beach Boys song, so don't beat me up too much. Feel free to correct me in the comment section if you'd like to. And while we're at it, I don't mind asking for some thumbs up if you enjoy the videos and you enjoy my efforts here. Those are encouraging to keep me at it. And so yeah, but that one, it doesn't even matter if we turn it in a light or what. I can barely make out GTO with my eyes if I really get to going, and maybe you can get a little bit of it in there. Sometimes the viewfinder doesn't do justice to the finished video, so you see it better than what I'm thinking you're going to see it sometimes. But yeah, that's just a really horrible looking label. Now we've got Roy Orbison, Dream Baby, so I don't have to dream alone, on the Monument Records, which I think was the original. This was re-released a few long years back. How Long Must I Dream, Dream Baby, written by Cindy Walker. Yeah, I was never a big Roy Orbison fan, nothing against the guy, just didn't really get into his stuff. He got my interest with the Traveling Wilburys. I did like, George Harrison, Tom Petty, and, doesn't come to mind right now, the guy from ELO. Yes, anyways, I did really like the Traveling Wilburys, and it was kind of surprising. He seemed like the odd man out to me when they came out. But they did some really great stuff together. I think there were 2 albums and a live one. Yeah. B-side being The Actress, which is not a song of his I'm at all familiar with. So, next up, I don't remember this sleeve, ever seeing this sleeve before, so it's a little different. CTI Records. The vinyl doesn't match the record, but that's so common because of jukeboxes. I know we've said this a bajillion times, but in case somebody's just stumbling along and hasn't heard me explain it before, you get so many mixed match sleeves on used 45s because people load them up in their jukebox, put the sleeves in the bottom, and when they take them out, they just slap them in a sleeve and don't necessarily take the time to match them back up again. So you get a lot of mismatched sleeves when you're buying used 45s. But here we've got the Royal Guardsmen doing Snoopy's Christmas. And you may know them from Snoopy and the Red Baron and Return of the Red Baron. They had a couple of songs, so looks like they were also Peanuts fans, as am I. And the B-side of this is another Christmas-themed song that it kind of looks like Christmas. But very cool. I like the coloring. I like the layout of this label. I just kind of like the artwork of these lorry labels. And all the Royal Guardsmen 45s that I have seen and that I own are on that same label. Infinity Records. So that's kind of a cool sleeve there. And it does match the vinyl again, which is nice. But if you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain, escape. Come with me and escape. So the word is in the song, but if you just see Rupert Holmes' Escape, you might not know it. It's not a good thing that they subtitled it or whatever they call that when they put it in brackets below. The Pina Colada song. B-side of this being a song called Drop It, which I don't know at all. Now I've got 3 copies of this here, and I don't really see a whole lot of point in showing you all of them. There's not really much difference other than a little bit of the coloring. But yes, I've got quite 3 copies, and they all have Drop It on the back. So that's the best looking one, so that's the one I chose to share with you. So now next up, all you Rush fans, time to get a little excited. I got some cool Rush ones here to show you. Starting off with the live version of Closer to the Heart from Exit Stage Left. And I did take the time to look this one up. Be proud of me while de-sleeving. I was like, which one is the A side? I wanted to get this right. So I did look this up, and Closer to the Heart was the A side in 1981, and Free Will was the B side. You'd think Free Will is a better known Rush song. Got a heck of a lot of radio play. It was a really great song off of Permanent Waves. Started Permanent Waves. I believe is the opening track of Permanent Waves. And Closer to the Heart was on the album before that, I do believe. But yeah, great couple of tunes here from Rush. And our next 45 is going to have some interesting things to be said about it as well. We've got Tom Sawyer, which was a huge hit for Rush off of Moving Pictures, which was a huge album for them. They had some really great albums, but I don't know what the best-selling ones are, but I was at high school when Moving Pictures came out, and it was huge. It was a real big deal for a lot of people became Rush fans because of that album, kind of like Pink Floyd with The Wall. They had done a lot of really great work before it, had a lot of fans, but these bands, Metallica and the Black Album, for example, they put this album out and boom, their fan base doubles, quadruples overnight because of it. That was the case with Moving Pictures and Rush around my area and the people I knew. But what I really wanted to talk about was the B-side here, being a song called Witch Hunt, which is actually part 3 of a series called Fear. And they released the parts in reverse order for some odd reason. 1981's Moving Pictures had Witch Hunt, which was part 3. 1982's Signals had The Weapon, which was part 2 of Fear. And 1984's Grace Under Pressure gave us The Enemy Within, which was part 1. And it's an interesting listen. You go take those 3 songs, put them in the correct order, and listen to them back to back. It's kind of cool. So yeah, it's called The Fear or Fear, and the 3 parts were broken up over 3 albums and released backwards. So who knows why they did that. But one more fact that I did forget, I was getting so anxious to talk to you about that I forgot to mention the fact that this Tom Sawyer 45 is actually 30 seconds shorter than the album version. So it's edited down. I don't know specifically what's different about it. I just know that it is 30 seconds shorter, and it's exclusive to the 45 RPM. So something to get if you're a huge Rush fan and you want to hear it. It is at least a little bit different from the album version. Next up, we've got Subdivisions, which is the last Rush one I'm going to have to share with you here, unfortunately. I have some other Rush ones, I think, in the mixed boxes, but this is all I've got here in the A to Z sorted collection. And what's interesting, I think, here is that this was the first song on Signals, and they chose the last song on Signals to put as the B-side. And I think that's kind of cool. You get the first song and the last song from the album on the 45. Pretty neat. And the timing's matched, so there's nothing edited or nothing different about these, but it's still really cool. And what a nice looking vinyl. I mean, they're in great shape. Beautiful shape there. So we've got just a few seconds here, so we'll go ahead and burn off one more. It's an oldies series. Atlanta oldies series, and yeah, you can see a little bit of dust there. I didn't quite get cleaned up before filming. But it's Sam and Dave with Soul Man. I'm a Soul Man. And who doesn't remember the Blues Brothers doing their remake of that? We were talking about remakes recently in one of the episodes that I just filmed. And it's often interesting to hear an original song if you only know the remake version of it. I don't think that's so much the case here with Sam and Dave's Soul Man. It was a pretty well-known song, but I'm sure there's somebody out there who the first time they ever heard it was the Blues Brothers. Somebody. And the B-side of that being a song, When Something Is Wrong With My Baby. So that wraps us up. Come on back for part 40. We'll see you then.